Hello, and welcome to XI Café, the experience improvement podcast brought to you by InMoment. My name is Corey, and I manage the content here at InMoment. And today we are talking to Marie Corfield, Iress's customer experience lead. We'll be covering all things B2B. What does customer centricity look like in the B2B industry? How can CX practitioners in this industry make transformational change in their business? We've got the perfect guest to answer these questions. Hello, and welcome, Marie.
Hi, Corey. It's great to join you today.
Well, to kick off, please tell us a bit about Iress.
So Iress is a leading technology company. We design and develop software and services for the financial service industry. We operate across APAC, UK, Europe, Africa, and North America.
Wow, that's a big remit. Well, what makes Iress stand out in the B2B arena?
Iress have been a critical part of the advice industry for around 30 years. But for me, I would say what really makes us stand out is our people. They're really passionate, they're industry experts, and really committed to our customers, and also in turn, the broader end.
Well, in terms of a CX program at Iress, what does that look like, and how has it changed over time?
So previously, we had a number of challenges, and I'm sure many people will relate to these. So there was no holistic view of how our customers were feeling right throughout their journey. And often insights were kept within a team. So they just sat within the team that they served the purpose for. We also had, as a global business, a number of centralized surveys. Now, what this led to is the surveys became overly complex. I'm not even sure they always made sense to customers, or they were hard to understand. And yeah, I think trying to run it globally just really reduced the value that we got out of the insights. So for the last 12 months, we've gone really bold and we've started afresh. So we've built out short, customer-focused journeys, surveys that are tailored for each business unit and region. So we still keep some consistencies where required, but then we've really adapted what we ask and the language that we use to make it really relevant across our customer groups and our product offering. The CX team have really worked hard on trying to drive awareness and engagement across Iress. So we launched a competition to name our CX program, which really helped raise awareness. And it's got its own kind of like look and feel that goes all across the internal comms, as well as what we send out to customers around CX.
What's the name of the program, out of curiosity?
It's Loop. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Cute.
Yeah, it's a really great name. And we actually gave away a pair of headphones, which has that nice connotation to kind of like listening to our people and listening to our customers. It went down really well. We had some really out there suggestions, but we love Loop. We've also as well been really We've made a promise to our customers. We're going to be more transparent. So we're sharing back to our customers emerging themes and the actions that we take off the back of the feedback. So after the annual survey goes out, we talk about what we've learned and what steps we're taking as a business to address their feedback. I would say the biggest shift for me is the cultural shift. So over the last 12 months, we've really acknowledged that customer centricity isn't just a one-off initiative. So now it's more a guiding principle, and it influences our decision-making at every step of the way.
Tell us a bit about the business transformation at Iress. What was the catalyst for starting a customer-centric focus?
We have had CX and a program in place for a while now, but I'd say the really big shift came when our CEO, Marcus Price, joined Iress back in July 2022. So Marcus really quickly recognized the need for a cultural shift within the organization to truly embody customer centricity. One of the most powerful ways he's led the change is by having a customer measure as one of the 3 metrics on our company scorecard. So as you can imagine, this has had a huge impact. So we've really gone from reporting NPS to the board annually to having defined CX targets across the business at every level. So every business unit is now accountable for elevating customer satisfaction. And this really resonates across the business. It's reinforced at every town hall. So the leadership are always talking about our commitment to our customers, and everyone really knows the importance of customer satisfaction and that we all have a role to play to help uplift CX metrics.
So, of course, in an ideal world, the leadership team is on board and every employee is dedicated to the cause. But what are some of the challenges you've run into leading this project over there?
I think this is common, but we're a really small global CX team. We support over 10 separate business units and regions, and each of these have their own leadership team. They often have their own implementations team, product teams, support teams. So it's been really hard to, I guess, balance those central efficiencies and consistencies with some metrics, whilst also enabling the BUs to have flexibility where needed. So, I mean, it is important to tailor where relevant, and especially to really get them on board and gain buy-in. But yeah, so it has been quite difficult at times balancing that kind of local versus global. And this really could be anything. So the terminology. So in some parts of Iress, we refer to support as support. In other areas, it's referred to as Iress Service Desk, right down to the list of products that are on offer in different parts of the regions. So, I mean, it has been made easier through technology. We do a lot of personalization of descripted text. So we have the same single survey in the back end, and then we use the tech to kind of tease out changes where needed around language, or hide a question, change a question slightly. So it has been made easier to kind of be more relevant where needed, but it's definitely something that we're going to have to continue to balance as we roll out more touch points and refine our programs. I'd say another huge challenge has really been pace of change. So Iress as a whole has undergone a large-scale transformation. So we've really been working with evolving structures, large-scale changes across every business unit, and really introducing a CX measure. It's just been another new thing for our teams to take on board. So it's really a lot to take in. We're dealing across time zones. We're working with remote workers. So there's a lot that you have to tackle. And when you're trying to really build engagement, drive awareness, and get people excited about what you're doing, that has been a bit of a challenge over Slack at times. So we've really had to find different ways to engage with the right teams. And I think as we've worked much more closely with each of the business units, we've really helped forge those relationships.
Yeah, I think a lot of B2B CX leaders in this space will relate to those. Now, on to some of the positives. What sort of results have you seen since the transformation project kicked off?
So we're already seeing tangible improvements in our metrics. We're seeing verbatim comments coming through where customers are referring to a specific change or the cultural shift. And, you know, for my role, there's nothing more satisfying than actually hearing a customer say, "Oh, my life's been easier since you changed X or Y." So yeah, it's really great to already hear that we're getting it right. People are starting to see the value and also have those tangible improvements for the actual metrics too. So yeah, I mean, it's fair to say different parts of the business are at really different stages of transformation. In some parts, we've got a lot more work to do to raise the bar to where we want to be. In other parts of Iress, we've got really strong relationships with customers. We work in collaboration. And I guess for them, it's more about doing things at scale, reaching more customers and hearing from a wider set of customers. From a kind of tangible results perspective, we've seen a 1% increase in our annual survey response rate last year. I am hopeful that we will reach another 2% increase for this year's, which is coming very soon. And also we had an uplift on our primary CX metrics, so a notable uplift between 2022 and 2023. And again, target-wise, we're really hoping that trend to continue this year.
Congratulations on the results. I know that many people in your position would be so excited to just see any uplift at all. Do you have any advice for leaders in this space? What would you have done differently if you were starting again?
Well, I would love to say it's all gone swimmingly. On the whole, we've achieved a huge amount over the last 12 months. But I think if I could jump back in time, there's probably three particular areas I'd perhaps do differently. So when we transitioned to our new platform, the XI platform, we did this at the same time. It was pretty much this time last year when we launched our annual customer survey. This was a real steep learning curve for us, as well as our customer success manager in Moment. This wasn't because the platform isn't easy or intuitive, but there were some fundamental differences with the platform in terms of how we set things up, how we reported, how we shared results. So it was quite challenging working through these under tight timescales and for our highest profile survey. So yeah, I don't want to think back to this time last year. We did it, we achieved a lot, but I think in hindsight, I probably would have personally opted for a softer launch. Other things that I would do differently, we worked really collaboratively with all of the business units to really get their base programs up and running. So looking at what the key pain points were, the customer touch points, and then building out surveys that were really about the customer needs. I think if I could go back, I would have crafted some of that out at the offset. So have some base surveys that were already pre-approved by the global leadership team, have them up and running and live, and then I guess do a little bit more tailoring from an initial template. At times it got a little bit overly complex and a little bit long-winded, and I think we could have moved at greater pace had we have taken that approach. So finally, and linking back really to the above point, I would have preferred to have pre-built surveys and dashboards in place before we started engaging with business units. So I think having something more tangible and visual to bring things to life during kickoff sessions would have really helped people relate to what we were talking about.
Yeah, well, it is always helpful to look in the past, but looking forward as well. Of course, we've seen so much disruption and change over the last 12 months in our industry, both customer experience and B2B brands. What would you say is the most exciting part about the future for you?
So I am really, really proud of our progress today, but I'm also excited to be further along in our CX transformation journey. So our CX program needs to be an enabler for us to be able to listen, to learn, and to act. So far, our focus has really been around introducing feedback across the key touch points so we can effectively listen to our customers. So next, our teams need to be learning from the customer feedback, establishing benchmarks, monitoring trends, using our data to really help forge a stronger connection with our customers. And then when it comes to action, which is arguably the most important part of the CX program, what are we learning from our data and what action needs to be taken? So looking to the future, I'd like to be using a combination of our customer feedback, behavioral data, transactional data, user data, so we can be better informed about how our customers feel and their needs, and really getting to a point where we're able to proactively service a solution before our customer even comes to us. So this is further down the line, but I'm hopeful it's not too far off.
Well, Marie, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your ideas with us. And thank you to our guests for listening to the XI Café podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode and stay tuned for more just like this in the future.